Okay, we're live.
Already.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Freeborn Podcast. I'm here with my good friend, Jorge Hernandez from Grupo Imp3rio here in town. So you're the closest thing to a celebrity that we've ever got to come on.
Yeah, right.
Well, you are. I appreciate you coming on the podcast.
Thank you for the invite.
And so you're in a music group. What kind? I didn't know. People ask me. I don't know what kind of music. What to call that kind of music?
Cumbia. Please
Cumbia.
Yeah, no, everybody thinks it's Tejano. I don't know why.
What's the difference between Tejano and cumbia?
Tejano. Depends. It's like norteño. I don't know. Like everybody just. That's what they always tell me. That's the same rhythm, but no. Cumbia is way different. It comes from Coahuila. That's where we play cumbias.
Okay.
Because they try to mix it up. Salinas, Tejano, but that's another style of cumbia too. But I don't know. Depends.
But you're cumbia.
Well, we play everything. Well, mainly cumbia.
Okay. And so how long has the band been around?
Many years, more than 10 for sure.
Really?
We just stay locally. It's not working.
So you're a local celebrity.
Yeah, you can say that.
Oh, everyone knows you, George.
Yeah, and
I
everywhere
meet people.
go.
Yeah, everywhere I go, people know you.
Yeah, so
It's either because of your music or because you gave them a ride on the elevator.
both. And then I was hustling in the elevator.
You were hustling in the elevator. That's where I met George. I met him when he was operating the elevator on a job site, and everyone knows him everywhere we go.
If it wasn't for Cole, I wouldn't be working for you.
That is true. That is true. We'll get back at Cole here later. So how did the band get started?
Well, it was like several years ago. It was my first of all. I started learning piano when I was like 5 or 6 years old. But
How did that? Tell me about that. How did you start learning piano?
my parents, I don't know why. We just had an old abandoned piano at home, and I started trying to play it. And then my parents.
Just by yourself?
No, they put me a teacher, but I never paid attention, so I quit.
Boy, I'm seeing a pattern here.
I quit until I went back to when I was in middle school. That's when I started playing again. Well, I was learning, but I went lyrically, like just learning by ear.
Uh-huh.
And then they put me a music teacher, but they didn't pay attention to that, and I just started learning my own song one at a time, and started playing the guitar on the keyboard first before I even started actually playing the melodies.
Right.
But if it wasn't for my uncle, I wouldn't have started.
What did your uncle do?
He was the keyboard player, actually. I just started helping them, but circumstances happened, and my dad made his own band, so now I play for him.
So your uncle had a band? Is that what it was?
Yeah, he had a band. I started with him, and me, my little brother, and my big brother. We all started with him and made our own band. But the only ones that stayed right now is my little brother and me.
And then you have other members in the band.
Oh, yeah.
So how many are you? What's the size of your
Yeah,
band?
the keyboard, which is me, the drums, the percussion. It's 2 percussions, congas, guido, the guitar and the bass player, and of course the MC and the engineer. The light engineer and the one that picks up the roadie, picks up the speakers, and then the wives, everyone else.
So you have an entourage.
Yeah, probably.
And then you're playing, so you're still playing the keyboard? Do you know how to
Yeah.
play any other instruments?
Not really. I'm learning a little bass. Guitar, I never learned it because, I don't know, I just didn't like my hands hurting.
Right.
Yeah, so.
And so when you started playing like at 5, why did you start playing? Because of your uncle or just because you were interested in it?
Well, both. My uncle was already he was singing karaoke's back then, and he was going to start playing and making his own band, but never happened till later. That's when I stopped because I was bored. I wouldn't pay attention. I was learning how to read music, but I didn't want to do the homework, so I just quit.
Right. And then, so you still just play by ear?
Oh, yeah, mainly. I can't read music still, but I can copy what I hear.
Mm-hmm. And so when you guys started the band, how does that get started? How do you start getting gigs and stuff?
We just offered to go play Poti Flea Market, and that's where our gigs start coming. Everybody has like quinceañera, they go here. So that's
When you go to the I know you go to the flea markets. How do you guys just go and just play like for free, or do you pay for a booth, or how does that work?
They pay, but very little. They've never changed the price. They only get paid $200 for the whole band, and that's just on a Saturday. But
And for how many hours?
From 12 before it used to be 12 to 5. They changed it to 12 to 4, but it's still 4 hours and $200 for like 5-6 members.
So you're just playing it to get exposure.
Kind of, yeah. That's where we risk a little to go play there, and well, that's where we are. The gigs, people, there's a lot of crowd, so anybody playing there probably hear us, and we get hired because they like.
So
us.
how often do you guys play the Poteet?
Well, right now we haven't gotten for like a couple of years. We're just off whatever for Facebook and YouTube that you keep hearing us, or families keep passing us around, recommending us. So that's what we.
So you do a lot of like weddings and quinceañeras and stuff like that?
Yeah, private events.
Okay. And then how does that work out? I mean, how often, how many, you do it on weekends normally? Is that when that is?
Well,
or?
yeah, usually a Saturday. We used to actually, back then we used to start from Thursdays, but it was just on bars and stuff like that locally. But nah, it's too tired. It's too tired. Not worth it anymore.
Right.
We just keep it in the weekend.
And then so like how booked are you guys?
Right now, with all this going, we're dead.
Right.
But we used to be playing Friday, Saturday, Sunday, depending, but mainly Saturdays. But mainly in town. But when it's out of town, then it's a long way.
How far have you gone out of town?
I've gone to Lubbock.
That's as far as you've gone? Haven't you gone to Mexico some?
Oh yeah, I did. But it was just right here over the border in Colombia, near Laredo area.
And that's how did people in Mexico find out about you?
Well, they came and heard us at the flea market.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've gotten a lot of business out of playing at the flea market.
Yeah, that's why we keep going, or else we wouldn't.
Who's all going to the flea market, and what do they sell there? Is that like a tianguis from Mexico, like a pulga?
Probably, yeah. They sell from used to new.
Have you been there?
Yeah. I've been to the traders market. It's a lot of people's old junk that some people it's just their junk that they find in their garage that they go out and sell. A lot of people it's these collectors that have 1,000 of one thing.
Yep.
And they sell that.
Resellers, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they do now. There's like CDs that be selling toys for kids, shirts, jewelry, boots for the Mexicans, and the cowboys and cowgirls and all that. So, yeah,
and so do they have other styles of music being played at the place, or is it all like that kind?
It's probably just that, but then they got their booths, people trying to sell like rappers and all that. But many of them, the Hispanics, are always in the back. That's where all the music is at.
Right. So do you guys write any music of your own, or do you play covers?
No, we've had our own, but we just haven't played usually covers. That's what we've been doing, mainly covers, because that's what's hitting right now. So that's what people ask for. So we play what the people want. Right.
So you don't tell them they have to listen to your original music.
Well, there's some that we actually play every time, but it depends. The people some request them when we play them, but mainly covers.
Okay. And so when you guys are doing these things like in Mexico, have you guys had any situations in your gigs where? Because I think I remember you telling me that you had some where you were playing for some shady characters.
Oh, we've done several. We used to play like in rodeos, the Mexican rodeos.
Yeah.
They were making us play like 4 or 5 hours, and they still wanted more hours after that, and like we're all tired. And then sometimes can't remember, one guy showed up. I'm not with my dad or some other guy that played with us. They went to him and said, "I need another hour. Are you gonna play for me? Yes or no?" They were packing. They were packing. And so like either you play or you
play like they say in Mexico.
Yeah, and like they understood that we told them we were already tired. And then my brother and back that they had real bad asthma, so only because we got saved because of him. Then we stopped playing for that. Yeah, because he said they saw him real sick. So I no, okay, y'all can go home.
Did you guys ever go back to play for them?
No, we stopped doing that after that. We used to play. They would pass us from family to family during the, I don't want to say the Xmas season. Yeah, they would start doing the 24, 25, like 3 or 4 days straight playing for that same family, but different. Not same family, but cousins, and they would just pass us around.
La familia.
La familia.
Uh-huh.
But it was, we stopped doing that because we're risking our lives too much. It's not worth the money.
And then they were just going to force you to keep playing?
Yeah, so and they were probably playing for free because now they already saw that they're packing. So.
Have you guys had any problem getting paid in the past?
Yes, we had one, and I won in Seguin. Actually, we showed up, and it was, I don't know, misunderstanding who was paying. It was like we showed up. We usually make contracts pay before we start playing.
Okay.
They told us, "Oh, we're playing during the break." Okay, we played, and then the break came. Then, "Oh, we're playing to the end," and we told them, contract was we pay before we start playing, and they didn't want to, so we packed our stuff and left. But we had to have cops right there waiting for us to unload because they were gonna start arguing. You messed up my daughter's this and so that. So
And they never paid.
Then they never paid. And they try to blame us, make us look bad on Facebook and everywhere. So told them it's not our fault. We were under contract. We could have turned it around and sued them.
Yeah.
They didn't want to pay. So it's rough. It's rough.
Yeah, it's a rough business. And then, so when you guys are, who's the singer? Are you the singer? I understood you're the singer, but I've never heard you sing.
Mainly I am, but the thing, I can't sing a cappella. I have to have a note to actually sing. It's me, my dad, and my brother.
Okay.
With my dad sings the norteñas mainly. I sing the more cumbias, baladas, and all that, and my brother sings both.
And so when you guys are doing your gigs and stuff, I mean, what's it? Is it? I'm trying to think. I've never been. So I don't ever go to any clubs or anything like that. So, like, how late are you guys out?
Man, sometimes we're like the gigs start from 9, and sometimes finish at 2 in the morning. So, but after 2, we're still wrapping up our PA system. We end up leaving at 4.
It takes you like 2 hours to pick everything up.
Depends, yeah, because you're dealing with the drunk people, and you're trying to say, hey, I want another one. I want a photo. I want this. I want that. Like, okay, people want to go home already. But we can't be rude, so we just got to deal with it.
And are you guys the ones that are putting everything up and getting everything out, all the equipment and everything, or do you guys have people to do that?
Nah,
now?
we hired 2 people to help us out sometimes, but they can't always go because there's some clubs that we go and now we're taking extra people. But usually me, my dad, and my brothers are the one always picking up the system. Well, mainly me and my dad. But yeah,
Your dad.
yeah.
So we were also talking about you had gotten. You had started into. You're married.
Yes.
Did you meet your wife through the music, or how did you meet your wife? I never have asked you.
I met my wife through my brother's wife. It's her cousin, something like that. I can't remember. Hold on. My wife's cousin. I met it through my brother's side. Hold on. She's gonna kill me because I don't remember.
Because you're making it sound like you met her at the family reunion.
No, the first time I actually met her was at Hemisphere Park.
Okay.
Yeah, I was playing there for the
You were
radio,
playing.
Yeah, the radio station there. But her cousin's my sister-in-law's best friend. So that's how I met her through her.
Okay. Does she like your music?
She says I'm the best singer in the world. So
Oh.
better say it than not. Yeah, and actually there where I first met her, that's where I proposed to her.
When you first met her?
No. Right where the place where I first met her.
You took her back there to propose.
And I proposed to her. It was the worst day ever that day.
Why is that?
Because I had gone to work and they broke into my truck in the morning.
Where were you working?
Actually, at where I met you.
At the
Brady
Green.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
They broke into my truck that day, so I was having a horrible day. But I just decided, I already had planned it out, so I ended up going with a broken window. I went to HEB, bought candles and everything to make it special. I blindfolded her too when I took her to the Hemisphere. So I set it up for her before, and then I just walked her over there, opened it up, and I wrote, "Will you marry me?" on the floor.
Oh, with what? What'd you write it with?
With the candles, I made the...
Oh, you set the candles up like that?
The lights, yeah, I light it up, and...
Did you spell it right?
I think I did. She said yes.
She said yes. And I said, well, I didn't know you were asking me that.
Yeah, so...
Okay. And so your wife had a how's she doing with her? She had a cancer scare, right?
Yes. Right now she's going 5 years cancer free.
Oh, that's good.
She had what is it called? She told me-
Ovarian?
No, it was the uterus cancer or something like that.
Okay.
That reason. So I took out everything. I don't know what
Right, full mastectomy.
yeah, something like that. So we couldn't have kids. So, but it's
Yeah.
either save her life or risk having.
And she was very young. It was a very if I remember right, it was a very rare cancer. That she had.
Rare, but dangerous. But she was in the early.
But she's been clear.
Yeah, cancer free for like going to 5 years already.
Well, that's very good. Very
Yeah,
good.
So it was rough.
Yeah, that was.
It affected me a lot of ways, but luckily I'm still here.
Yeah. And so then you guys went into looking at foster to be foster parents, right?
Yes.
A while back. And I haven't asked you about this. So you didn't go through the state, or did you? You went through
An adoption agency. Yeah, that's where I went through.
Are there a lot of different ones, or how does that work?
There's a lot of them in town. There's different ones, like the north side, east side, west side. They're different, but mainly it's usually Texas or San Antonio. I think I can't remember, but it's a long process. Right now, currently we're fostering and already fostering to adopt.
You're already fostering, right?
Yes.
And you have a little girl that you're fostering, right?
Yes, our little angel. Yes.
Is that her name, Angel?
I'm not supposed to say, but yes.
Okay.
It's Angel.
Okay.
Her name's Angel.
And then, how old was the baby when you got her?
She was 8 years old. That's the first time I met her at the hospital. She was having trouble eating, so she was already connected with the tube and everything. So we were seeing her every day. She was in there for 2 months until she started eating on her own.
How's she doing now?
Oh, perfect. She loves to eat just like her. Just like me and
And so what do they? So when you guys signed up for foster care, were you able to say you wanted a baby or a toddler or whatever age, or how
Yes.
does that work?
We told her we wanted a newborn
Okay,
because they couldn't get them from any age because usually there's a lot of kids in the system.
right.
Yeah, so they didn't even actually the day she was born, that's when we got certified.
So what's the certification process like?
Certification? Well, you got to do a bunch of classes like CPR classes. Got a lot to do with medicines. If the kids are sick or they have the traumatic. What is it? Something about the mind of their. I can't remember what they were.
ADHD,
So all those types
attention
of
deficit disorders.
Yeah, they told us we have to go through them regardless if the kids have them or not. But it's just to have the training for
Right.
them, how to handle situations, and not to hit kids. Can't do anything to them.
So no discipline.
No
basically.
discipline at all. You probably just gotta tell them, okay, mijo, don't do it. That's it.
You got to reason with them.
Yes, you gotta figure ways out. I didn't even know all the stuff that
How long does it take to do all that training?
it took me. I'm not sure it was 3 to 6 months just to finish that.
And so, like, what are they, like seminars you sit through and they're talking, or what, how does it? What are
It's
those?
a class. Some classes were like we would show up at 8 in the morning and we wouldn't be out till like 3 or 4 in the evening. But they were kind of easy because they would give you the answers. They wanted everybody pass. I don't want to burn them, but no, but then we had some instructors who actually make us. You got to learn it. But it was good. I learned a lot. So.
And then when you do those, do they give you do you have to take like anger management? Do they have anger management courses in them and stuff, or?
They had some different types of that. Just tell them how to handle, how to cool a kid down, or how to don't try to go and put them in the corner. They teach you how to do the.
What do they tell you to do when the kid's misbehaving?
Misbehave. Well, try talking to them, reason with them. That's all you can do because there's this.
How old is the little girl that you guys are fostering?
Right now, she's 11 months, about to be 12 this month.
Is she crawling?
She's already crawling. She stands up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she starts.
Does she walk or not yet?
She walks on her around the crib and stuff like that.
Okay, but not like by herself yet.
Not yet. She stands up already freely sometimes.
Oh, she'll
But
be
then
walking
she falls.
pretty soon.
Yeah, hopefully.
She'll be walking pretty soon.
Is it hard? Were you ever spanked when you were a kid?
Several times.
So is it hard for you when the baby's misbehaving not to want to give her a little spanking on the leg?
Nah, she's. It's my little angel. I can't do that to her.
I can't imagine George having any problem.
I can't. Probably my wife. Nah, we won't. We won't. Nah. It's hard. It's different when having your own kid of your own. So I always thought, I'm gonna teach them, you can spank them too and everything. Now that I have it, it's like, break my heart to see her cry.
What would I call it? The story on this little girl. How is it she ended up in the system in foster care?
Man, her parents were, what's it called? There's some stuff I can and cannot say,
Right.
but they were taken because she was.
So they're still in the picture.
Yes.
They're not
Right now they terminated the rights. So we're already in adoption process right now, so.
But when the baby was born, they were in the picture still. But
Yes.
But the state had not considered them to be responsible for the nerves, that they could be trusted with the child.
Oh no, they had. That's why they were the process going. They got removed from their care because they thought they were not suitable for them.
Right.
They still got to see her when she was in the hospital, but certain circumstances they got banned from the hospital. So yeah, so we were obviously taking turns. We show up.
And so, how hard is that when you're basically alternating custody with the parents? Is that difficult?
Oh, it is stressful. We didn't know what they're doing to her or if it's safe for them to be around the baby. So it's a lot. Especially
How did your wife handle that?
Not so well, but we had no choice. It's hard seeing with the visits. Usually we take the baby. We don't know what to expect if they're going to take care of her in the visit. But there's always supervision. So that was.
So they had to have supervised visits.
Supervised visits. They never had her alone. But they're not doing too well in the visits. So now we don't got to worry that no more visits no more since they terminated the rights. So.
And so what's the next step for you guys on this? Because you guys are looking to adopt the little baby, right? That's what you want to do.
Yeah, we're right now in first already because nobody from their side of the family wanted her. So that's when we come and play. So right now we're at a point where it's like 85% already that we're adopting her. It's in our favor because they have right now like 20 days to appeal. And then if they actually decide to go through appeal, the judge has to approve it. But the judge is the one that terminated the right. So I don't think they're...
Right. And then once, let's say that the adoption then goes through, how long does it take to actually finalize that? Do you know?
They haven't actually told us. We're barely in the process of that. But we have right now 20 days to start the adoption process. If no appeal is done, so we automatically go on adoption.
And are you guys excited about that possibility?
Yes. Now we're more relieved now.
Yeah.
Before the judge could have said, no, we're giving it to the parents anytime, but they didn't do so well, so we were not too scared about that. She
Right.
went back.
And so when you guys are getting into the adoption process, did you look into different options, or was this the only one you really looked at?
No, we actually...
Because it seems to me that you guys went through real quickly. Like, I think there are a lot of people that foster for a long time before they end up.
Well, there's different... It was just foster to foster or foster to adopt. We chose foster to adopt, but before that, we had looked into private agency. But that, man, the most expensive one was $36,000 to do, and they wanted everything up front.
Wow.
And that was not even a guarantee.
What do you mean there's no
Guarantee you can adopt. The parents can cancel.
So you can pay $36,000, and then the parents decide they don't want to.
Well, you lose your chance. Well, you can probably throw next, baby, but
you have to pay another $36,000, or how does that work?
Honestly, I don't remember, but they said something that we can. There's not always a possibility that the parents just don't want to go through it, so we got to keep waiting. But it's $36,000.
Wow.
And the cheapest was like around 20, so it was a way out of my.
What's the advantage of going private?
Private?
You don't have to foster?
No.
You can just adopt.
Yeah, you can just adopt directly. Well, of course, you got to bond with the baby a little bit before they actually...
Right, but you don't have to foster like you are now.
No.
That's the advantage?
Yeah.
You have a little more control over the process?
Yeah. And this way, how we're doing it's a little less expensive, so...
And this is through the state then? This is a state thing?
Yes.
So what's the cost on this?
Well, actually, from my understanding, I don't think we're going to pay anything because it's the state.
Mm-hmm.
But we had all our training and stuff that was out of our pocket.
Okay. And so,
Yeah.
like, how much was all of that? What do you think it was?
I don't know. Sometimes some classes were like $50 each.
So very little.
Yeah, and then I had to do my background check, and that was the more expensive, like $80 a person. So not
Yeah,
that
that
much
sounds
compared to
very inexpensive.
yeah, compared to the way of private adoption, this is way better. The only thing is just stressful because here's not a guarantee either. We're playing it if we get to adopt or not. But right now, since
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I've heard a lot of cases of people who have fostered and ended up not being able to adopt many of the children that they fostered. They fostered many children before they were able to adopt.
well, I guess we're just lucky that the first time, hopefully, it goes through. But yeah, there's other people we've noticed that have gone through 2, 3 babies and they still don't adopt. But it depends the situation of each baby, how the parents are doing. So
Yeah.
they give them a lot. They give a lot breaks to them to actually redeem themselves.
Yeah, the court wants the parents to.
Reunification is their goal.
Yes. And so there's a lot of people who will foster a number of children before there's one that becomes available for adoption.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys are able to adopt this little girl, that would be very, very, very quick,
Yes.
because that usually doesn't happen that fast.
No, and actually we tried in Mexico also, but it's even worse.
Oh, how was that? Did you guys go to Mexico?
Yeah, we went to it. Well, one of the shelters they have there.
Where did you go in Mexico?
In Piedras, we went to Piedras.
Okay, just across the
across the border. Yes, went, but it's way harder because whether you have to actually have a home in Mexico to adopt, then it's a whole process. Since I'm born over here and my wife's in Mexico resident, so it's a whole. You got to go through the embassy and all that, trying to get the paperwork, and it's expensive the same way. So that's why we didn't even try to go that way, because you have to be over there in Mexico with have an address for there in 3 months. You're gonna be checking your house like they do here. Yeah, so
Well, I don't know how, I think it's gotten a lot harder in Mexico. So, like, I have, my family's lived in Mexico I've had family living in Mexico since when? I want to say 1958, maybe, when my grandfather first moved to Mexico. So I have family members who have lived in Mexico basically nonstop since 1958. So back then it was it was a whole lot easier. In fact, my granddad moved to Mexico and started an orphanage. Oh. Yeah, he had an orphanage he had in Saltillo. I think he started it in Guadalajara, but then he ended up setting it up in Saltillo, and he had a bunch of kids that just came to live with him, and he was basically. Yeah, it was. I don't think that there was any like state approval or anything. He just started taking kids off the street and putting them in, stocking the orphanage.
And there's all these signs all around the city looking for kids.
I can just see him down there playing the Rawhide song. Rawhide, rounding them up. No. Well, most of them actually had parents. The parents would send them there. So they were kids who the parents weren't able to provide for them. Didn't have enough money to provide. And so they ended up going and living there with him. So most of them weren't actually orphans. Most of them had parents, just their parents that were. Mexico was very, very poor back then. And so they had a lot of kids who were out on the streets begging or just living on the street because the parents just didn't have any money to do anything for him. And so that's a lot of those are the kids he ended up taking in. He took in a bunch of them. I think he had like 50 or more or something like that. Oh. Yeah, it was a pretty decent little orphanage. Anyways, it was a lot easier back then. And even when I lived there, I knew of people who adopted Mexican kids, but not legally. And there's not through legal channels. So what they would do is mothers who had a baby out of wedlock, usually not being married, they would need to give the baby up because the family didn't want the baby, right? Wow. The mother's parents didn't want her to have the baby or whatever. So Mexico didn't have abortion back then, and so they would look for somebody who was willing to take them. And a lot of times Americans would do that. They would take those kids and adopt them, but it was like they got them the moment they were born. They gave them to them, and then they would go and register them as if they had the child. Yeah, it wasn't like an adoption. it was like that cat went on the papers, on the birth certificate, and everything. It was like that child was born from the adoptive parents.
Man.
Yeah, and it was and obviously people knew what was going on, but for the most part at that time, nobody cared. It was like it was better than the kid being abandoned or mistreated, I guess, is how they looked at it. So they could do that. And I know a number of cases that they got in fact, one of my aunts, my grandmother had given birth to her last child, and in the same hospital, a woman had given birth to a child and abandoned it, left it. And so they came to my grandmother, the hospital did, and told my grandmother, says, look, we also have this other baby who was just born at the same time, but the mother left and abandoned it. Do you want the baby? And she said, sure. And so they just registered it as if it had been born from her.
Oh.
Even though my grandparents are white and the baby's Mexican, so it's pretty clear. Yeah.
You can't say it from the lechero.
Yeah. For all you honkies out there don't understand that joke. Oh, you crackers. Yeah, that's how adoption was done in Mexico for a long time. I don't think it's easy. I had close friends who did similar, who adopted a child basically the same way. So a little girl was abandoned, the mother didn't want her. Usually it's because she's very young, and either she was, it's her boyfriend's, or it could even be, and I don't know the case of this particular girl, but often it's the case that they were even raped, right? That they have a child that they don't want to kill it, they don't want to abort it, but they also is not a child they want to raise themselves. So anyways, they had this child, and I don't know her particular situation, but there was this child, and they got the child right away. And the dad is Hispanic, and the mother is my aunt, or my cousin, so she's white. Anyways, this was pretty recently, when they went down to register like that and did it that way, the U.S. Embassy was very suspicious. And they really questioned them because they suspected that's what was happening. And that's now illegal in the U.S. So, yeah. So I think that's kind of put an end to the whole going down and getting babies in Mexico, not going through legal channels. That the U.S. Embassy now is really strict on it. And because they see it as child trafficking. They see it as human trafficking now.
When we went to Mexico, we were doing I went to that shelter, and then sent it with somebody, I'm not sure it was a lawyer or something that deals with the adoption over there. They recommended us to find a family member or somebody that was willing to give it up. It's way easier to do that than trying to go
So
through
they
that process.
recommended that also.
Yeah, to find somebody that just didn't want the baby and go through that way. It's easier, but than going through their system. It's a whole mess.
Yes. Any system in Mexico is going to be a pain because Mexico loves red tape. They love bureaucracy. They're going to have a million forms you have to fill out, and if anything is slightly wrong, you're going to start all over. They're terrible, and that's anything you do in Mexico. That's why so many people don't want to do anything legally.
It's not like before. Before it's like the saying says, "Con dinero baila el perro," but not no more. Now it's different. They actually they're going through everything legally.
Yeah.
It don't matter if you have money, it's still the same time, the length it's going to take. So
I bet there's still places where you can show up with some money.
Yeah, probably.
You just didn't have enough of it.
$20 bill, that's not gonna do much. You gotta have.
We didn't show up with $20.
Like 10 more friends.
I showed up with a whole case full of money.
Sure, you did. So how did you go from playing cumbias and stuff to construction? Because you also work in construction.
I work in construction, yes. I do not know. Well, we can't live off music, so I had to find another hobby. Not a hobby, but I mean, well.
You got to find a means of support.
Yeah, there you go. Means of support.
So how there's no way you guys could make it off the music?
No, not no more. There's too much competition here in town, locally even. So bands are charging cheap just to get gigs.
What's cheap?
Depends. Well, they're doing under $1,000. There's bands I hear locally that.
How much do you guys charge? Like if I wanted to give my daughter a quinceañera, even though she's 22.
10,000 for you, Mike.
Oh, that's a good deal. That's a good deal.
It all depends.
Hey, I have my nail gun, so you're gonna sing all night long. Or you sing or you sing.
Nah, not with a nail gun. It has to be better than that.
Oh, I got better than that.
I know you have many tools.
No, I have what I need. You didn't know the podcast was gonna go 10 hours, did you?
No. You go, man, why did I say yes? No.
No, I mean, how much do you guys normally would you charge?
Well, it depends. There's bands that start from 2,000 or 3,000 and up to 4 and locally.
But what do you guys charge?
Around 2,300, 25, 28, depends where locally.
Okay. And then if you travel, how do you do that? You charge per mile or just?
No, it just depends how far. If we go, if it's like here locally, it's 23 to 28, and then up there, it's probably like $500.
And for how many hours is 20?
Well, it's 4 hours of music, 3 hours. What's it called? The main hours, and then there's an hour break. But usually, the DJ. So sometimes I'm the DJ in the band, so I start working since they start serving the food. 6, and then do the presentation of the quinceañera, the MC part, and then.
Oh, you do that?
Yeah, I'm on the mic, so.
Oh. Are you good at it?
I'm all right. I don't say I'm the best, but I'm a little shy.
Because Nolan hired a DJ for his wedding.
I heard about that.
DJ Taco or
Something
what was
like that.
Yeah, it was DJ Taco. The guy was horrible.
Yeah, I don't remember. Very
DJ Taco. The name says it all.
What's your DJ name?
Imperial DJ right there.
Show it to the camera. I don't know if the camera can see it.
Imperial DJ.
That's your
logo, yeah. I just put that before they were calling me DJ Porky, but no.
Oh.
Just to mess with me, but no. I had to make it. Yeah, but no.
Yeah, the one that Nolan hired for his wedding was just horrible. He wouldn't. Well, he didn't understand the audience, the room.
Yeah.
So it's all my family and friends, which were all conservative Christians, and he's wanting to play the music real loud, and none of us listen to loud music. So it's like nobody
And
likes.
some don't listen to music at all.
It's some don't listen to music at all, ever. That's why you like going on trips with me, right, George?
The
Yeah,
ones
I
who
just go to
enjoyed it
sleep.
were Anna's family.
They enjoyed it.
They liked the loud music. They were
Oh,
all
so she's
dancing.
the heathen.
She's
You brought the heathen into the
yeah.
clan.
Anna's family. She enjoyed all that music.
Well,
Anna didn't herself. She's more like us, but her family, all her cousins. They
all
thought
the
that
little
was great.
pagans.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot. There was a number of people that were real upset, and I think they thought that that's what that's what we hired him to do, which isn't. We kept telling him, we kept saying, we need you to turn this down, and he wouldn't. He wouldn't do what we told him. He was a bum.
Yeah.
Nah, if they tell me to do that, I just raise it up more.
Oh, you're like that.
Nah, they're paying. They're the boss.
Do you guys ever have any ones where they want you to turn it down? I don't think so.
Nah, never. They usually tell her can't hear it, raise it up. But usually the ballroom's the one always crying. I can't hear the people buying snacks at the snack bar. So,
Oh,
or we play out in the open. We always have the neighbors and like music. So.
yeah. See, if I was the neighbor at one of your gigs, I'd be your nightmare.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell them, no, you got to invite the neighbor or else he will call the cops.
Have you guys had the cops called on you?
Oh, several times.
And what do you do?
Well, you have to lower the music until they actually stop us. Tell us you got to shut down or else I'll give you a ticket. They've given us 2 warnings before, and they say the third time is ticket automatic, and asking no questions. So we just
And how much is the ticket?
from $300 to $500, depends.
And you can't charge the owner, whoever hired you to pay it?
Well,
Or they start arresting people then.
nah, they just shut down the whole party if it leads to that.
Right.
Even in this pandemic, I actually played at a wedding in a ranch, and they still called cops, and they told us the second time we come out, we're shutting the whole party down, so we just stopped playing. And it was out in the open.
Was it because of the pandemic that they wanted to shut it down? or because of the noise?
The noise. You always have neighbors that don't like music. So.
Well, see, where we used to live in Mexico, the last city I lived in, which was Toluca, we lived in our little ranch town. And that ranch town, apparently they're all inbred. And so everybody in that ranch town was related to each other, right? Is that how it worked there? Because you guys were like...
No, we were friends with, I guess you would call the familia of that ranch town. They were like the godfathers of that whole town.
Oh, really?
Yeah, somebody needed something in that town, they provided it. Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like food, money, they handled it.
They went to them and asked for it.
Yes.
And then
they provided the money, whatever it is that was needed. And they would throw with the money that they made with the business they had, the lonas, which they made.
The tarps.
The tarps.
They rented the big tarps for the...
Huge tarps. Huge. They would set it up for parties. You know, like
a circus tarp.
Like circus tarps.
Man.
Huge. And they would do that all over.
And they would set them up.
And they would set it up. And we would help with that. So they would have huge box trucks that would be filled with tarps. Yeah, but by the time they were done folding it, it was taller than we are now. They were huge tarps. Yeah, they would set all that up. Well, every Saturday, they would set up a tarp out in the field and throw a party for everybody in the town. Just cuz.
Yeah, it was every week. It was practically every week. And
It was basically every other Saturday almost.
Yeah, it was all the time. And they would be far away from my house. Sometimes they'd be a mile away, and my windows would be shaking. That's how loud it was.
Probably had a good system.
I don't know if it was a system or they just had a lot of speakers. Yeah, they just had
it depends.
A whole bunch of them.
Sometimes it don't matter if you have a lot or less. It's just the way you handle it and you regulate and everything. So.
Yeah, the whole house would just be shaking in the window. Oh, I hated it. I was always so angry. So
you're not.
Yeah, no, I hated it. Man. That's why when we moved here and we finally bought a house here where not only is it far away from everybody and there's not any neighbors, but the neighbors I have are white, boring people. Just the way I like it.
Oh, you hit jackpot, man.
I did hit the jackpot. I don't ever see them.
They're very basic.
They don't ever talk to me. The only thing they do is they have their fireworks stand. It's the only thing. That kind of irritated me when they put a fireworks stand in. But it worked out okay. It's not a big deal. So he doesn't put music on and stuff. Although the other day, this last, what was it? 4th of July. Yeah, it been 4th of July. I had taken like a week off of work during that week, and I was programming, writing must have been the Bible program I made for the church, the one on the website.
Yeah,
the Freeborn Bible. I think that's what it was, the Freeborn Church Bible program. Anyways, I was programming. So when I program, I don't sleep. I'm awake for a very long time until I can't stand it no more because I'm so fixated on what I'm doing. And so I hadn't slept for, I don't know, basically 2.5 days. Whoa. And so then I finally said, I got to go to bed. So I went to bed and I closed my eyes and the neighbor's selling his firecrackers. Well, I start hearing his music super loud, real loud. And I'm like, I don't believe it. He's playing music now. So I get up and I go outside and I look, and it's already, he's already done. It's closed. There's no one out there.
They're partying.
No, there's no noise at all. It's just dead silent. I'm like, oh, that's weird. He must have turned it off. So I went back to bed and closed my eyes, and they start playing it again. So then I'm thinking it's Kirsten playing music in her room. And I go and I get up. Dead silent. It's hallucinating.
What? You were that tired?
I was that tired. And it was so real. I'm not joking. I went outside because I thought there was music out there. That's how real I heard it in my head.
Man.
I know. I'm like, then I realized, boy, I gotta get some sleep. I'm starting to hallucinate. That's the first time I've ever had that kind of hallucinations.
You sure?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I've hallucinated that my employees are horrible, but then I wake up and realize it's true.
All right. You're going to watch it this week.
No, I've had other kinds of hallucinations when I'm programming. When I was programming, I usually knew I had to get some sleep because the monitor would start elevating and like moving in the air.
No, you're hallucinating.
And I'd be like, oh, it's time to go to bed. I got to get some sleep. Because then I was like, oh, 'cause I'm serious. It would be like, or looking at it, all of a sudden it'd be like,
How do you keep awake if you don't like coffee?
I can't sleep.
And you don't drink sodas, are you?
No.
Just
Because
tea.
he's fixated.
It's because of what I'm doing.
So you're like just focus on one thing.
I'm there. When I'm programming, I'll be like, okay, it's 8 p.m. All right, I'm going to do this one little thing, fix this one problem, and I'm going to go to bed. And I'm work on it. I'm going to fix it. I'm like, great, good. I look down. It's like 4 a.m. And I just
flies.
sat there without blinking for 8 hours.
Man.
Yeah, no, it's not good for my marriage. My wife doesn't like it. Can you believe that?
Who wouldn't like it?
I meant, look how horrible she is. That's why I went into construction. I went into construction. Some people said I should, look into programming because I'm actually pretty good at it for being self-trained. If I took some classes, I'd probably be a lot better at it. But it's just not good for me. No one would ever see me. I go down in that rabbit hole and it can go for years.
Hibernating.
I can just sit there for years. That's why programmers have really good programmers. They like have no teeth. Their teeth are all rotted out because they don't shower. They don't brush their teeth. They don't get up. They just sit there for hours and hours and hours and hours, days and days.
I will go crazy.
And they'll sleep, like they'll just lay down on the floor and sleep and then get back up and start working on it again. It's crazy.
Man.
Yeah. And I understand it. That's why I went into this. So that I would, because if I'm programming, I'm no good at church. I'm no good at home. I'm no good anywhere. Because you get everything in your head. When you're programming, you got all these different things you're doing, and you got it all in your head, and you know where everything is. You know what you're doing, and if you stop and go to sleep, you gotta reload all that when you get up to start over. And you don't want to do that. It takes a while to get back where you were. Yeah. So you just sit there and work on it, and it's a constant use of you're constantly solving all these problems in your mind, figuring all this stuff out. That's all programming is solving problems. It's a great exercise. It's a really good thing to exercise your mind. I imagine it keeps your mind young because it's so thought intensive. I love it, but no one loves me when I'm doing it. I'm not the normal, nice, cuddly bear that I am. Like I am at work.
No comment on that. Just leave it there.
So how did you get into doing construction then?
Honestly, before I met you, I actually used to do concrete with my dad.
Oh, that's right. Does he still have a concrete business?
Nah, my little brother took over.
How did you like that?
The money was good, but the long hours, I didn't like working.
It's rough too. That's tough work.
If it rains, there's no work, and if you get rained out, you gotta wait till the concrete finish. You finish the job, and sometimes you lasted more than 12 hours in the job. So no, I didn't like it.
Concrete has a strange way they pay too. They pay by the day, right?
Depends. The finishers usually they do get paid by the day, but the contractor or the boss, well, he does it by square foot. That's what he charges.
No, I mean the people who work there.
Oh, yes.
They get paid by the day. Do you know that? That's how they do that?
Yeah, I did know that.
That's interesting. And when does the day reset and you get paid a new day?
After 12, I think.
Is it after 12 hours or is it at the end at 12
Well, it
a.m.?
depends. There's some people, they just go help them throw one slab and they're already done for the day. But then they're the ones that are actually full time with the people to whatever they get out. That's just one day. But they have a set amount. Everybody's making over $200 a day. But if they break it down per hour, that's no bueno. So like,
Yeah, it's they could be there for a long time. They could be
Yeah.
there a full 24 hours.
yeah, it depends. If they work late, usually the boss always buys food and everything for them. But then they have the chickens that take off. They don't want to stay past the 12 hours. They call it a day at that time. They might go in at 4 or 5 in the morning, still be working at 5, 6 p.m. So there's no actually set hours to get out in that job.
Yeah,
It's good money, but it's a lot of stress.
it's it's very backbreaking too.
Oh, yes. That's why I got out.
Yeah, no, I hate concrete work. I hate roofing and I hate concrete work. I hate those, both of those jobs. That is, I have my respect to anyone who does it.
Yeah, roofers.
Roofers and concrete guys, I respect the fact that they do it because that is rough work. Really rough work.
Then the cement, this gets reactions to people's skins too.
Yeah.
Working so long.
Yeah, it's caustic. It'll burn you. It gets in if it gets down your leg or down your boot or something, it could be.
Oh, and then it's plus water. Oh, you start getting those rashes. And
Yeah.
well, I don't miss that at all.
So you were doing concrete work with your dad.
Yes, I was doing that. Then all of a
What time did you? What age did you start working?
With my dad, I was working since I was little, but not actually working. Working was when after I hit middle school that I would go.
Like on weekends or what?
During the week? Oh, yeah. No. Usually when it was, we had a break from school.
Okay.
Because he only works Monday through Friday, and sometimes Saturday they need to, but yeah, but no. It is, concrete is just not for me.
Yeah.
The only way I'll go back to concrete if I'm the boss. I don't have to get off or do anything. I just send him to work. Well, that's the only way. Not actually do the work. But other than that, I don't miss it at all.
And so then, how did you get out of it and into whatever? Where did you go to?
Well,
from there?
I got out because it wasn't making that much money. That's when there's a bunch of people were going lowballing and no money at all. So I went and I started a staffing company. And there they started me like at $8 an hour. And that's when they threw me into that, when I was doing the elevator. Well, first I started at gate security there. And they said I did so well, they threw me in the hoist.
How did you do well? What did you do?
Because I wouldn't let nobody inside the job site without being certified or anything. I even stopped the owner. I started there with Barleycock.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped their own head president Barleycock from going in because he was in shorts. And he just told the people, "Hey, I got a good security out there." And
Was he doing that to see if you'd stop him or
I
what?
did not know. I didn't even know him. So he just trying.
And
to
what
go
did
in.
you tell him?
He said, "Sir, I can't let you in." He said, "You know who I am?" He said, "No." He just said he left it alone until the boss. Actually, the safety guy came and told me, "Hey, you did a good job. That even you stopped that guy from going in. And you know who he is?" He says, "No, I don't know. He's the top dog from Barleycock." Like, what? So they offered me to go inside the elevator, so I don't have to be dealing with the heat and rain outside anymore.
Were you happy about that?
Oh, yes. The only thing I miss is the paletero guy showing up in the evening around 3:30. Yeah, I remember everybody's eating the paletero, man. Yes.
George, when I met him in the elevator, he was selling sodas and chips and stuff on the elevator, and then people would give him fried chicken legs.
Fridays they'll take Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. so they were doing that to get so you to get preference, right?
Sometimes. No, actually, there was one guy that actually was paying me money. Just to so was door guy who moving doors, but I wouldn't. The first
I know that guy.
Yeah, that door guy. Remember that he offered me $60, and I didn't want to take it. So he said, "You're offended." He got like offended because I didn't want to take his money. He says, "No, I'm supposed to give you preference." No, take the money. He said, "No, I didn't take it. So all right, I left it like that." The second time I wasn't stupid. He said, "No, I took the money even." Yeah, but I had orders from the main GC to give a preference regardless.
Do you think we would get better service if we paid the elevator guys some money?
Probably. If you went here and there, you bring them a soda or something, I'd probably get some good service.
Because they're terrible.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
They're horrible.
They're everywhere, especially Austin.
I know. They're terrible. Horrible.
Yeah, but nah, Cole was cool. That's why I gave him a little bit of preference. So.
Well, see, Cole kept trying to get me to Cole's my son. He was working for me at the time. I'm supposed to tell people who these people are. I don't know. Terry thinks Terry's my wife, who I'm married to. She thinks that I mention names and people don't know who they are, and so then they feel left out. So I'm supposed to. I've been instructed to explain who all these people are. I'm not sure anyone's listening that doesn't.
You know who's Nolan?
Yeah, no one cares.
He's the one making everything happen.
Yeah, he's our sound engineer and our producer and our cameraman. So if you have any complaints at all about the way this sounds, the way this looks, anything George is saying, all that's Nolan.
I'm all right with it.
Yeah, Cole, my son would keep telling me, "Hey, you need to hire George," and I'm like, "Who's George?" And he's like, "Who's the elevator?" He's like, "He's the elevator guy," and I'm like, "You mean there's somebody in the elevator?" I didn't know that. I don't pay attention. I had no idea that anyone was in the elevator.
Yeah. I remember that because I started at that job. That was a job where I showed up. I was 15. I was before the legal age to work. And you said, "Well, I'm going to take you out there and see what they say." The worst thing to say is, "No, you can't work," and you'll just sit out in the van for that day. And the safety guy, Safety Joe,
David,
Safety Dave, he goes, "Well, how old is he?" He goes, "Well, he's 15." He goes, "That's great. That's good." And I was like, "Dang it!"
He wanted to sit in the van.
I really wanted to just because that was like the only job that they were gonna be doing for that whole summer.
Mm-hmm.
And so I ended up having to work that whole summer at that job.
Oh, poor you.
Poor me. But I remember you.
Yeah,
I
you remember
thinking,
him?
why would they put a guy as big as a cart
the elevator.
when we're trying to fit as many carts as possible?
No wonder I was never picking you up.
I remember him in the elevator, and he's holding his phone up in the air because it's so packed. I mean, they packed it in with people, right? You'd pack the elevator. So he'd have his phone up there, and I don't know what you're watching or listening or doing on your phone. He's doing something on his phone, and he's got his chicken wing in the, and I don't know what he's pushing the buttons with. I don't want to know what he's pushing.
My stomach. No.
He's got a pencil in his belly button, so he can push the buttons because he's got his chicken wing that he's eating, and he's got his phone, and the phone is plugged in.
I had it clipped on top of there.
And then Cole's saying I should hire him. I'm like, there's no way in the world I'm hiring this guy. He can't even run the elevator efficiently. He's in there with a chicken wing and a telephone.
Good old days.
Nothing's changed. You guys still big old chicken wing?
Nah, now it's a cheeseburger. I multitask. Cheeseburger, fries, and my phone.
Yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, Cole would want me to hire you. The first time you helped me was when I had all that aluminum to haul out of there. Do you remember doing that?
Yeah, and it was all wet.
Yeah, I had to get it up in the van. Yeah, I had it in that wheelbarrow thing, and you helped me push it up in my van.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first time I remember you actually doing anything of any use for me.
All right. I see somebody losing a van this week. It's ending up in Mexico. No,
well, see, Cole was saying I should hire you, and I don't know why Cole thought that. I don't know were you telling him or?
I had asked.
How did you guys become friends?
I do not know how, but we were friends.
Yeah, well, Cole's friends with everybody.
Nah, he was cool. He was, I don't know, I honestly don't know, but he was just cool. He always talked to me when they were telling me what they were doing. I never had a clue what was it, but ended up just liking him. He was, I don't know.
When you talked to Cole and he was real nice, did you see that he got it from me?
Cole's different.
Well, see, I didn't think you would make it. I didn't think you would be able to do the work that we were doing.
Either.
I was like, Cole, he won't last a week. There's no way. There's no way he even lasts a week. I'll kill him. I mean, I don't mean I'll get mad at him. He'll die on me. And thing. So I was shocked when you made it through the first week.
No. Yeah, I don't know. I just did.
Yeah. Were you tired?
Yes. After doing for almost 2 years elevator, not hardly doing
Sitting
anything.
there with his chicken wing up in the air.
That's the only exercise I had. Chicken wing.
The only exercise I had. Yeah, and back then we were working crazy hours.
Mm-hmm.
That was back when I was more ambitious and we'd work a whole lot more hours than we do now.
No, I don't. Don't go back to that.
We'll go back to that.
I'm okay with the 8 hours right now.
Yeah, I mean, we were doing. You started like. What was your first job with me?
First job was at Baptist.
North Central, right?
No.
No.
It was the one on medical.
Oh, at night.
At night, I started my.
How is it that I always start new people on the worst possible jobs? Either like way out of town and we leave at 3 a.m, or jobs where they go all night long.
Yeah, no, I started there. You told me you should show up at that. Told me at 3:30 because y'all were working till 3 at that job I met you.
We were working at the VA or where?
No, it was the Baptist.
North Central. No, it was I worked in the daytime.
You were working at.
I worked all day that day.
Yes, and then at
another job.
Yeah, and then over there I went to that medical.
And then I had you meet me over there, and we worked all night.
It was me, you, Cole, and Clayton.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember we showed up. That's when I almost electrocuted myself with an impact. No, it wasn't that. That's when you started me with a screwdriver to take off the.
Oh yeah,
outlets.
because you were gonna electrocute yourself.
You never.
with it.
But then I always get mad every time you hire a new one. You let them use the impact to take those screws off.
But I
why
gave you
me a screwdriver? Man, I always remember that every time. Every new person.
He always whines about that.
Yeah, I'm always gonna.
When I started, back in my days, he sounds like an old man.
Screwdriver.
Back in my day, we used a screwdriver.
And then when my brother started, he used the impact. I was electrocuted over there. North
Yeah, he
Central.
did. He stuffed it. He stuck it in the outlet.
Missed, yeah, he missed the thing, and he just saw the sparks. Luckily, something didn't happen that day.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. That's right. We did start there. But then we were also we started, it was right away, we started in North Central Baptist.
Yeah, right after.
And we were working like from 6 a.m. till 8 or 9 at night.
Yeah, we were working long hours.
Long hours there. Yeah. Yeah, I was impressed that you made it through the first week. I didn't think you would, but you did.
Yeah.
So how long have you been working now there?
Not going 8 years, almost 8 years with you.
8 years?
Oh, good.
Yeah, 7 to 8. I think I'm the longest employee other than your kids.
Yeah, Nolan's the only one who's worked for me longer than that. Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah,
but now you're used to it.
Yeah, can't complain anymore.
Now you're an old hand.
Probably. I'm 37, but I feel like 60 now.
I'm so sure. I wish you'd act 60 instead of
Probably
17.
Yeah, probably even younger than that. The mistakes I do.
So do you ever look at the elevator guys and think, oh, I should go back to running the elevator?
No, I always tell them my stories when I go in there. So I hate your job. I wouldn't do it.
You didn't like running the elevator?
Kind of, but not for the money. It wasn't worth the stress. Because you had those people or people playing with radios. I didn't like that. So
yeah. And the green that wasn't too bad of an elevator job though, was it?
Brady Green, no.
That one
was only 6-7 floors.
Can you imagine doing a 30 or 40 floor run?
No, I could just imagine.
Did you ever work at Methodist, at Stone Oak Methodist, where they had that hospital and they had that guy in there? You never worked there, did you? Stone Oak Methodist?
Yeah, I worked.
And they had the guy in there and he pushed the buttons with a stick.
Oh no, I don't remember seeing him.
Yeah, that was before your time. That was before I had hired anybody. And man, that guy, he hated that job. So they made him do, but he did not like it because it's so boring. It's such a boring job, the elevator job.
Yeah, your day goes by slow.
Yeah. Just up and down and That's terrible. And there's no way to make it go any better. It's not like you can do anything to. It's just, yeah, it really is not a good job.
To make it go faster, you probably have to start actually doing something, helping the people unload their stuff.
Well, they do. They'll go and do stuff, but then you end up not getting the elevator where it needs to go, I guess, or whatever. I don't know. It's a terrible job, and I don't understand these buildings that want to build their building and then they only have like one little bitty elevator
For like
for 30
people.
floors. What is it at the one you guys are doing up in Austin?
Colorado, 32 floors.
And where do they have one elevator?
One elevator.
One little.
Well, it's their service elevator, which is smaller than a buck hoist, but bigger than their passenger elevators.
So how many carts fit in there?
Well, with the COVID,
Oh,
you don't
well, that's
fit
the
what
other
you can-
problem.
Yeah,
How many
more.
people do they let in the elevator?
3 people at a time.
Including the operator or plus?
No, plus the operator.
So 4 total. 4 total people in, no matter how it's, like the buck hoist is huge.
It's pretty big, yeah.
For those that don't know, a buck hoist is the temporary elevator they attach to the outside of the building that run up and down the outside of a building on these big high rises. It's called a buck hoist. I wonder why they call it a buck hoist. That's strange.
That is strange.
Strange name. Anyways, that's a buck hoist. And those are pretty big. Those are usually like 12 feet long.
Yeah, remember, because we're putting in our crash rail that are 12 feet in.
Yeah, they're like 12 feet long and 8 foot wide or so. So they're like 8 by 12. So you can put a lot of people in one of those.
A scissor
lot of
lift
stuff.
fits in there very well.
Yeah, you can drive a scissor lift right into it. That's right. And they only allow 3 people in those. And where's that? Block 71, right?
Colorado 300. Colorado is big. I mean, Block 71 is bigger,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Block 70, well, they're in Colorado, doesn't have a buck hoist anymore.
Oh, no, they don't.
Yeah, they're in
Yeah, they wanted to
Block
get that
71.
that job done quickly, so they took the buck hoist out.
Well, we're done already with that job, so.
Nah, that day I showed up there. That's when they closed on the buck hoist. It was a mess.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah, we couldn't take nothing up. We had to use theirs. Like, no, we'll come back another day.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, you don't realize how big, how many flights you actually have to walk up. Because on an elevator, it takes 5 seconds, and you're already on. You go up 32 floors.
Mm-hmm.
So I was on 16. Actually, I'll just go to 32 real quick. That's a lot of floors I walked.
Tell me about it.
Can you imagine?
I made George
I had to walk 10 flights of stairs. I was like, when I was at 5 flights, I'll meet you up there. I'm going to go check the material. I'll be back.
We got up there faster than we would if waiting for the elevator, though. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah. Can you imagine those first responders who went up the Twin Towers on 9/11 with full gear?
On the stairs. Oh.
Can you imagine? And then getting up there and having any energy to do anything?
My respects.
That's amazing.
Probably
Because,
trained
you know,
for it.
I carry, we go up and we carry carts up some stairs. Sometimes we carry a little bit of material, but they're carrying their full gear. Oxygen tanks maybe or whatever, because they're going into a fire. And then all that gear they wear, it's all heavy, and then they're running up the stairs. Man, that's brutal work going up
By
the
the time we
stairs.
get there, like,
Yeah, that is crazy. I just don't even know how you'd get up there with enough energy to be able to help anybody. I would need someone to come get me.
somebody help me.
I can't hardly go up 5. Well, I've basically come to it where it's like if they don't have an elevator, we just don't do it. I'm like, nah, I'm not carrying material up the stairs. Either get an elevator or
hire
get
somebody else.
Someone else do it. I've gotten real mean lately in my.
You keep doing that. That's better. You keep
You're
doing
okay
me.
with
You're
that,
okay with that.
George.
Anytime.
And so yeah, you've been working for 8 years in construction. Yeah, wow, that time went by real fast.
Yeah.
And so you were already doing music then before this, like a couple years before is when you guys
Yes.
started. Why do you have a 3 in the word in the name Imperio?
We just changed the E. It's a
Yeah, I
E.
know.
For my 3 brothers. Me, the main brothers
Oh,
that started with my dad. It was me, my brother Gerardo, and Juan. my 3 brothers that started the band.
So that's why there's a 3. I couldn't figure out why you had a 3 in it. So when you first started, was it just you 3 and your dad, the 4 of you? And you put a 3
Actually,
for the 4 of you?
No, it was, we all started. It was my 3 brothers, my dad, and my other big brother. But he's my stepbrother, but he went and did his own thing, so we only stayed. So I just, it's not really the 3 in there. My brother, just because he changed it up and we kept it. But
Is that still how you have it? Or
no, it's the E. We just put the 3 just for fun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but that's what it means. My brother tattooed himself with the 3 on there. But
Did you, George?
no, I don't have no tattoos.
Good for you, George.
Yeah, I'm thinking of getting one to say here, Yolanda and Angel right here too.
You need to have my name tattooed on you.
I was at M&J in the back. No, I'm gonna do that one. He says that. What would Mike do?
Yeah, WMD.
WMD.
But backwards so you can actually read it.
Yeah, you got to WWMD.
Oh, right here, exactly right here, so I can read it.
So you can read it well.
Yeah.
I got to get shirts made like that.
Yeah.
I do. I got to get shirts made that say that upside down.
Yeah. Apparently, everybody needs it.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
So they can walk down and go. What would Mike do? You know, some of the boneheaded things they do is just crazy.
They just need reminders usually. So.
Oh man, that's crazy. And so, what are your plans going forward, George, in your life? What plans you got in your life?
Well, first of all, was finishing the adoption. Now it's just looking to a house after that,
Yeah.
mainly. And I'll probably just stick around, keep doing this. I like this type of work, so I'm not changing it for anything. But
What's your plan with the music? Have you guys thought about anything and do anything different there, or you just do it because it's fun, or why do you like the why do you guys do the music?
I just like seeing people dance and have a good time.
Mhm.
Sometimes I even do it for free, but there's a bunch of people just do it for the money. So, well, music wise, I don't see it going professional. It's just keep it locally. So that's not big plans yet.
If you ever go professional, then I can sell this interview.
Probably this is the first
So-
interview.
First interview at Jorge.
But for professional wise,
Yeah, I knew him before he made it big.
yeah.
Well, when all my audience see this, you guys are going to see a huge uptick in your sales of your CDs.
Yeah, probably. You probably have more views today because I'm on the show. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just
It's
kidding.
not going to be all his family buying
I'm
them.
not familiar.
It's his own family's going to buy
I
the
told them
CDs.
I'm gonna give you $1 through Cash App. Whoever shows up and watches the video. Nah.
Are they rooting you on? Are they home? Give them a shout out, George. Who's watching?
My wife for sure. That's all I know.
AH.
My cousin, Alberto.
Oh, okay, well he's been sending messages. For
What does he say?
So it started with for the flea market. He says all they do is sell overpriced items.
Probably.
He goes, it's not the spankings, it's the chancla and the belt.
Oh yeah, no, not even that. It's whatever was around.
And he goes, I always see Nolan at the job sites.
Oh yeah, that's my cousin.
It's
That
so
one we
nice,
saw at a bar
yeah,
shop.
Bar shop.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
What does your cousin do?
Electrician, works for Big State. He's
Oh,
in
really?
He's in the union.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what we think about the unions. All right. So you do have some family members watching you.
Yeah. Surprised. Out of all the 50-some people said, I'll be watching. He's the only one that I've seen so far. And my wife's probably because she's doing her yard, so probably busy watching. So I'm gonna go.
So what are you guys' plans? Where do you as far as the music? What do you think? And just keep it the same way, or you guys thought about doing anything differently?
Well, right now, since everything's going on, so we don't have no plans yet until everything clears out. We might record another CD, maybe, but I don't know.
How many CDs have you made?
4 and 3 actually that actually came out. The 4th one we never took it out. We just recorded, have the master. We never did anything with it. That's when the Gangnam Style song I have in there.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, that's the CD that never came out.
And did you do it just the way it is, or did you translate it to Spanish?
Jazz or Spanish. That's what my little brother sings.
Oh, he sings that one.
Yeah.
How does it come out? Did it come out good?
It's all right.
Do you do the dancing? Do you do the horse dance?
No, we never actually did a video or anything for it. But that's when it was hitting when we recorded that song. But I don't know. I don't see anything sometime soon doing big for the band right now. But
And so you guys haven't had any work since it started, or very little?
well, very little. They've wanted to hire us, but my parents want to risk exposing us like that. Yeah, it's not worth the money. So who knows?
So they're still. So where would they be doing it? Because haven't all these things been?
The ballrooms, no, usually out in the open ranches. That's what they've been calling for. Because usually all their gigs right now probably for this year, they all got moved to next.
So people are like postponing their weddings, and are you going to have a bunch of 16-year-old quinceañeras next year?
Probably. Sweet 16.
Sweet 16s instead of quinceañeras?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, we have
That's assuming next year they open up.
Yeah, who knows? It's probably after elections, they'll probably find a cure or something. So.
Right. That's what people are saying.
Yeah, so.
I don't know. I see this. I think that this is going to go for a very long time.
It's probably going to be like a regular flu thing. Like
it is that, but I think that the panic, because nobody knows how to stop. To me, it's like it's going to get to a point where everyone knows that you have to stop. Everyone knows that you're going to have to but no one knows how to do that because they've already made this big issue. And people are going to still be dying, and people are still going to be getting it, and there's not going to be a cure, and nobody's going to know how to. It's like they're on the train and they don't know how to get off, and it's just going to keep going, and it's going to. How do you stop? How do you go say, okay, we're gonna stop this. We're gonna quit. Stop with the mask. Stop with all of this. We're just gonna go back to life. I don't see it happening, not for a very long time.
Yeah.
Which is, and I think it's mainly because people now don't know how. It became the whole, like the masks. The mask became such a political thing. So now it's like, if you're liberal, you wear a mask. If you're conservative, you're against them. It's not everybody, and I'm not even sure that's how accurate that is, but it's kind of perceived that way. And so now it's like the political fight. It's the same divide we find in the country over all the politics. And so how do you stop that? I mean, how do you then go to say, okay, one of them say, okay, well, let's wear masks from now and forever, or the other one say, okay, we're just going to stop enforcing that. It's going to be very, very hard to ever go back to anything normal. A lot of people are going to have a hard time figuring out how to make it in the new economy. A lot of restaurants are in for a long time of trouble.
Yeah, I've seen a lot already closed down because they can't make it with the people going. People don't want to go out, eat at restaurants anymore.
You know why? Half the people don't want to go because they're scared. Mm-hmm. And the other half, like me, don't want to go because I don't want to wear a mask. I want to go and I don't want to wear a mask. And so if they're going to make me wear a mask, I'm just not going to go. And if they would open up the restaurant and say, you can come in without a mask, I would go. I'd go. I don't have any problem. I'm not worried about it. I'm not scared. I don't want to wear a mask. And I understand. I'm not against them putting their rules and stuff. That's fine. But to me, it's just not worth it then. In fact, I won't go to restaurants that aren't open for dining. I'm not going to go through the drive-thru.
Oh.
So if they don't want to open up the dining room, I just don't go.
Man, I feel bad for Bill Miller's. They're always packed now.
The drive-thru.
Yes.
Yeah. See, I think restaurants are liking this. The restaurants that, obviously the ones that are closed are not. But any of the restaurants that do well on drive-thru, like Bill Miller, McDonald's, these restaurants, I don't think they want to open the dining room. I think they like it.
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A is killing it. Killing it. They're doing so good. And I think they found that it's a lot cheaper for them to not have the dining room open.
They don't have to be cleaning every time.
Exactly. Cleaning, free refills, people complaining about the orders, all the extra stuff they give people when you eat inside, the condiments, and now they give you 1 pack of ketchup.
Oh.
And what are you going to do? You're already gone in your car. They can just give you anything they want, and then you drive off, and there's nothing you can do about it. Yeah, I think those kind of restaurants are thinking this is great. Hope they never open the dining room back up. Bill Miller, same way. They don't have all those things out there that people are getting, and
The pickles and
yeah, they just give you a little packet and throw it in there, and they charge you the same amount of money.
Yeah, they're tight. They don't want to give anything extra.
Yeah. No, I think that those kind of restaurants are very happy with this situation. I really do think so. I could be mistaken, but it seems to me that that's why they haven't opened, even though they're now allowed to. Here in Texas.
Even the ones that do the door dashing and all that, now they're making business too. Before it was little, and now that people don't actually want to step out and go to the restaurants, they just get it delivered to their door.
I wonder how DoorDash and them are doing. I bet they're doing pretty well.
I've heard. Well, I have family members that have done it, but it says usually make from $10 to $12 an hour doing that delivering. But they got to put their own gas, so I don't know how well is that.
Yeah, it's like Uber. I mean, if you count your earnings from your gross, well, then you think you're killing it. But when you figure in all your expenses, and you realize that you're making $4 an hour.
Yeah, because they're not considering their insurance or gas and all that.
And time and yeah, they're not. A lot of them are not looking at the full picture, and that's how it is in the work I'm in. A lot of these guys that do what I do, especially if they do it by themselves, they don't have employees. Well, they just look at the size of the check they get at the end of the job. So they'll always tell me, "Yeah, I'm gonna make $700 on this. They're gonna give me a $700 check when I'm done." And they're like, "Where else are you gonna work and get $700?" I'm like, "Well, how long are you gonna work?" Well, if you're gonna work 2 weeks, that's not very good.
No,
that's not very good at all. But they don't look at that. They don't do the math. They just look at that they got a check and it's for $700 or for $2,000 or whatever, and they're not looking and saying, "Well, wait a minute. When I do the math on it, I didn't actually make that much money because I have all these expenses and I used all this time," and they're not valuing their time at all. And so that's how they. It's a bad way of looking at business. Definitely get you to doing things for very little money.
Mm-hmm. Especially if the guys that take longer than usual.
Well, that's yeah. Yeah, exactly. If you take 2 weeks to do something, they're going to pay you $500 for. You didn't do too well.
No,
you did real bad. Yeah, that's why we are always looking at what we're making, what the company's making by the hour, because it's like that's what we have to look at. If we look at how much they pay for the whole job at the end, that doesn't tell you anything. You gotta do the math. You gotta know your expenses. You gotta know what your overhead is. You gotta know what your wages are and all that, and figure all that in to see if you're even making any money. And there's some things we just don't make money at. Nobody does. That's why DEA, that company we do work for, that's why they quit doing toilet partitions pretty much. They don't make any money.
Yeah, they're horrible. Sometimes they're heavy.
Yeah, the new ones are terribly heavy.
I don't know why they do that.
I don't know either. Why?
They're trying to copy the Bobrick Sierra, is what I was told.
Who is?
Oh, the ASI and all them. So Bobrick Sierra, those are fireproof.
They're fire rated?
Fire rated.
Yeah.
And so everybody now is trying to copy a fire rated.
Because it's being spec'd?
Because it's being spec'd. So then now all the plastic people that make the plastic partitions are trying to make theirs fire rated.
So that people don't go to phenolic.
Exactly.
See, that's the amazing thing about phenolic, which is essentially the same as Bobrick Sierra. It's the actual generic name for the material is phenolic. That's made out of paper. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you knew that. That's paper. That's pressed paper hardwood. With a lot of.
I thought it was like wood or something.
No, well, wood is paper is wood. Oh. So in a sense, yes, but it's paper. So they take paper and they press it with resins and different chemicals, and they turn it into that super hard board, and it doesn't get affected by water. It doesn't get affected by heat. It is not affected. It doesn't burn. It's incredible stuff. I had the brown, that one right there, that's my desk.
I don't know if you can see it. There you go.
Yeah, that brown, that's phenolic right there. It's Bobrick Sierra is the brand name, but that's phenolic. All my tables, this one right here too, is made out of toilet partition.
I didn't even notice that. You
we make sure to clean it first.
I don't even notice that.
Yeah. Every table in my house is made out of I keep telling my wife I'll make her a toilet partition table.
You just want to stay clear of the ones that we take down from the middle schools and.
Yeah, we don't use those.
No, you don't want.
They're all new material. We don't reuse. We don't recycle material. But anyways, that was sitting outside in my yard, leaning against my house for like a year. That brown tabletop. And until my dad got a hold of the other piece I had another piece that could have made a table. Then my dad got a hold of it and drilled it.
It wasn't just him. Blaming it just on.
Who else was it?
Well, that was me.
So explain it to me. Why did you guys drill it full of holes?
Well, because you said get your sawhorse over there and screw it down.
On the sawhorse.
Yeah. Well, then.
So then you figured.
No, he says, well, let's set this up. And then he grabbed that and put it on there. And then I screwed it down. I thought it had to be screwed down.
Oh.
Otherwise, it would move. But I was going to go get. I mean, it worked better with that thing because the sawhorses, that thing was. I thought it had to be screwed down. Otherwise, it would take off on you. Because that's what you said. So you put that on there. And so I screwed it down on that. He gets all mad and cuts it all up. It still could have been used for that again.
He could make it
already
smaller.
Had the holes there for it, but no, we gotta cut it up because it's useless. So dramatic.
Anyways, the point is, it sat out there in the rain and in the heat and in the sun for over a year, and we took it and we washed it off, and it looks like it looks brand new. It looks like it came from Bobrick still. It's amazing material.
Yeah,
Really incredible stuff.
it's good.
But that ain't as heavy as the part of the partition.
No, the fire rated plastic toilet partitions,
Oh no.
they're horrible. Horrible. Yeah, no, that's terrible stuff.
Yeah, it's hard picking up. I know some people can't pick up one.
Well, I thought you guys were exaggerating that, but the ones we just did at that new high school, that was that was just terrible.
He thought I was telling him that
I could
it's
only
slow.
lift 2 panels at a time on those.
No. Yeah. I was telling him how heavy they were. And he goes, wow, big babies. He
They
goes
heard
over
some whining
and does
construction.
One stall. One stall of one panel and calls me, oh, it's so heavy. I'm like, I did a whole run of 20 stalls. Picking it up by hand. You can handle one stall.
That's why I made the troll jack.
Oh, that's the best invention you've done so far.
Yeah, that's why I made the troll jack, because those things are brutally heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. Come in handy. Not just for that, the other stuff.
Yeah.
Too.
We used them to lift up a set of lockers.
Oh,
Yeah, over at that. Yeah, we put them underneath there, me and Fred, and we used them to lift up a set of lockers.
Plenty.
Mhm. Yeah, I lifted up and
Just push it in.
yeah, it made me think of making some for that, but we don't do enough lockers to bother with.
I don't know. You probably use it for all kinds of stuff. Wire mesh. But just set it up there and grab it.
Yeah, I don't know.
A
Anyway,
lot of different things we can probably use it for. Pick me up.
pick you up. I don't think they will lift either one of you.
If it handles me, it can handle you. No.
Yeah.
Very good. So, when are you going to find out about your daughter? About whether she's going to be your
Well, our court
daughter?
was Tuesday. So after Tuesday, we have 20 days to find out if they appeal or not. So
appeal.
appeal. If there's no appeal, then we start the adoption process already.
And you don't know yet how long that might be.
No, I don't know. I don't know. It could be as 1 week, or it could take right there and then sign the papers. I don't know. They haven't explained everything yet.
Okay. And then what are you thinking? You guys thinking you might adopt more, or are you gonna?
I was planning to adopt like 6, but right now she's been a handful. We didn't know.
How many kids are you thinking of having?
More than
We thought, but we don't want to. We want to show her all the love and everything, but I don't know if we want more or not. Right now we're indecisive because
Yeah.
it was rough Well, especially for my wife, waking up at 2, 3 in the morning, and then having to leave to work to Austin at 4:35. Like, oh, that was rough.
Yeah, I imagine.
Yeah, so I don't know. We're gonna probably wait a year and then, or we can just we decide right away to start another one. But I don't know yet.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it'd be good to wait a little while because you want to enjoy your kids for a little longer. I think space them out a little more.
Yeah, probably. But if we do, it don't matter if it's a boy or girl this time.
Did you want a girl the first time, or did you want a boy?
For me personally, I wanted a boy, but I wanted my wife. I let her have the decision to do that. So.
And she wanted a girl.
Yeah, but I never knew I actually fall in love with a little girl too, like that. So.
Daughters are great. They're a lot better than sons. They don't drill holes in your stuff. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. But I fear it's better instead of changing diapers. I think it's easier with a baby girl because you don't have to be controlling the baby's peeing everywhere. So that's one good thing I gotta worry about.
I wouldn't know, George. I never changed a diaper in my life.
Yeah, I got stuck changing diapers and feeding bottles, and we have an agreement. Me and my wife takes care of the baby all week, and the weekend is my turn.
So how did you get out of it today?
Because you invited me so good. You say, do you want to go? He says, yes, I'm there.
Oh, she heard you too.
Yeah, but I didn't get lucky last night, so I had to put her to sleep. So give her a last ball and put her to sleep. So I'm good.
Daughters are great.
Yes.
Yeah. They're the only ones who will remember your birthday.
Probably. Yeah, because sometimes I forget my dad's.
Yeah,
I know it's in January, but I don't know what.
Yeah, no, girls are real good at that. That's all. So every parent, every father should have a daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then I didn't even know. I used to tell my wife, I'm not gonna be spoiling the baby or anything, buying her toys. I used to complain to my in-laws and my brothers. Y'all always buying them toys and this. Now I'm the one doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I go to the store or Walmart or whatever, I
buy her
a toy.
something.
Yeah, and she's smart. Also, I went to Burlington the other day. I grabbed a guitar, a toy guitar, and then my wife grabs a little kitchen. It was bigger and overpriced too. And we showed it to the baby. Which one you want? She went for the bigger one, so I got screwed paying more money. I'm trying to get your guitar, $10, and then I'll be like 40. Like, oh, okay. And she chose that one. I don't know why. They're smart.
Yeah, they're no kidding.
They know the bigger is better. So like, yeah, I already bought her. I have a little piano. I have a little drum set.
Is she musically inclined?
Well, she plays with them. She sees the lights and the music, so she likes that.
It's interesting how most babies like music. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Most babies like music. It's very interesting.
Yeah, ours is when she put music, she start trying to shake your buttons.
Yeah, they'll dance, they move.
Yeah,
which is why it's why Disney, all their kids' movies are musical.
Musical, yeah.
Because kids like colors and music. I don't think I ever did.
Well, you never like music, so. The only one I hear you sing is what's it called?
The one I sing to all my convict employees?
Yeah.
What is that one? I'm in the big house now.
That's the only one actually.
From Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Then I have to come mess it out and say, when I was a young boy. And I changed it 3 songs in one.
Yeah, all my convict employees, I sing them the same song because I already know if they don't show up, they're in jail. Yeah. They're in the big house now. They're in the big house now.
You should change the ringtone to that.
I had that as my ringtone for a bunch of them. That was Pete's ringtone. That was his. Yours was Gangnam Style.
I know. I tried calling you, and I would never hear it because you would always stop it. I wanted to prove you ever did have it.
That's hilarious. Okay. Well. We're very, very happy that you came into the podcast, George.
Actually, thank you for inviting me.
It was fun. So, how can people, if all my audience wants to book you and get you to come and do their music, how do they get a hold of you?
They can get us on Facebook. We're Grupo Imp3rio.
Grupo Imp3rio.
Grupo Imp3rio SA, or YouTube, or Grupo Imp3rio SA.
Send me the links and we'll put them on this
video. Why don't
video.
you give us a little preview of your emceeing?
No, I can't sing capella. I don't
No,
want to. I don't.
you're emceeing
Well,
when you
you do it at work. When I was a little
When I was a boy.
Well, every time you do that, I'm thinking, how in the world does anyone pay him to sing anything?
Because I can't sing a capella. I need a key in order to sing.
So yeah, send me your links to your your stuff so I can put it on the video so people can get a hold of you guys if they're interested.
Okay, well.
I don't know how many of my audience listen to cumbia.
No, you can probably. I don't know, but I don't even know if they listen to music at all.
I don't really have an audience, George.
Yeah.
Nobody watches my show. I'm sorry.
I've been watching lately, so.
You have?
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Which ones have you watched?
I've seen Marcos, I've seen Don, I see that lady from San Luis.
Laura?
Yeah, I saw my wife. Even my wife was seeing your sisters, Kirsten, also.
Oh,
How to
yeah.
be an independent women, all that. She was. You made her work since a young age.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
And do you remember her working with us in the construction?
She was smoking us, so.
Yeah.
He always compared her to her. He says, "Y'all working like girls."
I always say that. I gotta get Kirsten up here to do this, huh? I get Kirsten to pick up that panel, Nolan.
Yeah. But shout out to Marco.
Yeah. His was funny.
Yeah, it was funny.
He was. He's hilarious.
Yes, it was. He had problems with this mic.
Everyone does. You've done pretty well. Most people I gotta tell them because they'll be like this. They'll have it up here, like talking. What are you doing? Yeah. So send me your links and we'll put them on the video, and that way people can get a hold of you and see what you're doing on that. And send me your link to your job. Oh no, there is no link for that.
No. Just contact Man Jackson.
And we'll follow and find out what happens with the baby. I hope that works out for you guys. I really do. And we're happy to hear your wife is doing well.
Yes.
And we've continued to pray for her at church.
Thank you.
That she will be, stay in remission and have a long and happy life. And so we're glad to hear she's doing well.
Thank you.
All right. Well, very good. Next week, we will be on hiatus. We won't be here next week. We are going on vacation. So
Nice. Where are we going?
George's like, woo, yeah, 2 weeks in a row. So we won't be here doing the podcast, but what we did is we had the opportunity to interview the associate producer for the show The Chosen. His name is Justin Overlander. Great guy. Really enjoyed talking to him. Very interesting story he has of himself, and then also he works for the show The Chosen, and so we got to talk a lot about that show, which I like it a lot. And so that interview was recorded a couple weeks ago, but we are going to air it for the first time next Saturday at 9 a.m. So we won't be here at the table, but the show will air at 9 a.m. with Justin Overlander from The Chosen. So if you're interested in that, tune in Saturday at 9 to see what they have to say and what's going on on the show. And I guess that's all for today. We are glad you're with us. George, thank you so much again for coming out and talking to me on Saturday. I know that you don't get enough of me Monday through Friday, and you're just dying to talk to me some more on Saturday. So it was a win-win for you and for me there.
Yes.
But thank you for coming. I really appreciate it and enjoy talking to you. And we'll get your links up on the video so people can find you. Grupo Imp3rio, local celebrity, Jorge Hernandez, DJ George. All right. Take care. See you.